Hello, everybody. I'm Eugene Brown. I wanted to take a few minutes to introduce myself, tell you a little bit about what I offer and what that would mean for you and how it can impact your life. So, to begin with, there are a few things that we all know. Death and taxes are certainly certain, and that we're all going to need money to be able to survive. You know, the two most important things I always share with my family is seek to be happy and healthy. But if you can make money along the way and do some of the other things, well, that certainly is a bonus because it is a necessity. And so when I was in the military many, many years ago, I decided that learning about my money was an important thing. And it really all began when I was in college and the stock market crashed in 1987. I certainly remember when Microsoft was under $1 a share, and I knew then what I know now, and that is that moving money in the markets represents a huge opportunity. You see, there are three ways that people get rich. Number one is certainly and not in any particular order, they have a business. Number two would be they make money and millions in real estate. And number three is the stock market. Those three ways. And so as I've learned over the years through lots of starts and stops, I've learned that making money in the markets is not only doable, but you can actually systematize what the outcome should be. If you're disciplined, if you create a structure, you create a repeatable process, you're going to find that making money is a very likely outcome. And so what I do for people, I take time to try to help them learn some of the skills that has put me on a different path in life. And that life is really taking control of my financial future. And here's what I would tell you guys. The stock market is one of the most amazing opportunities that's out there. And the reason is you don't have to, be in front of anybody. You don't have to sell anything to anybody, although I like sales. It's just you and the market. And each day is a different day. You could certainly make as much money as you'd like as long as the skill set allows that, or certainly you could lose money if you don't protect the money. And so a few years back, we had a crazy event called the COVID virus that was running rampant. And in that moment, and I'll show you guys, I had some family members call me. They were asking me, hey, what should I buy in this market? The reason for them asking me, I used to be a financial planner for Ameriprise Financial Services, as well as an information rep for the Vanguard Group. So, I had all of my investment licenses, your Series 7, which is a 6-hour exam, your Series 63 and 65, a number of things. But suffice to say, you don't need any of that to be successful in the markets. What you need is a willingness to learn, to do some of the work yourself, whether you go through the platform in your brokerage account where it has the education section and you can begin to learn there. Whether you learn from some of the books that are behind me, you learn things that are online. But the other way to really kind of tie everything together, and that is through coaching. So I have been someone who has been self-taught, but it was not without a lot of headaches, you guys. I was not disciplined. I thought money grew on trees. I overtraded. I didn't have any clearly defined goals. I didn't have a solid strategy. And so subsequently, I would make money and then lose money, make money, lose money, and then eventually got washed out of the market. And so finally, what happened during COVID was I took about $477 Then I added about $4,500 to it and proceeded to grow my balance from about $5,000 to $2.4 million. To verify that and watch the video, I won't bore you with it here. You can simply go to my Linktree, and there's one of the first tabs you'll see is about the video, and you can watch that, and you'll see that it's my account. You'll see my last name, and the reason why I made the video was because Charles Schwab bought TD Ameritrade, and they weren't moving the chart balances over. And because I coach, I said, well, let me make a copy of what had happened so that when I'm talking to people, they'll recognize and realize, hey, this guy has had certainly a lot of success moving money. And so what you have to learn as an investor, as a trader, whether you're trading very, very short term, meaning you're day trading, or maybe you're scalping, or maybe you're a bit of a midterm trader, or you're a long-term investor, there are some key things you have to learn. And that would be both technical analysis and fundamental analysis. Technical analysis is all your charts, chart patterns, and technical indicators. Fundamental analysis is your press releases, your financial numbers. Is there a catalyst? Earnings per share, all of those things. What does it look like? Do they have a lot of cash? Do they have a lot of debt? That side of the house. And what you do, you use a dose of common sense. You marry technical analysis with the fundamental, and then you arrive at a place where you would buy and also sell. And then you use all of the things to help you with that, such as open orders, alerts, etc., etc. So let me take 2 seconds to show you some of the ways, some of the platforms or websites that I use to get some of this information. So to begin with, this is Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim is now owned by Charles Schwab. This is their platform. And so I will teach you how to go through charts and chart patterns in the various time frames. I'll talk to you and teach you about creating scans and watch lists and help you understand time and sells. I'll help you understand level 2 trading. I'll help you understand a lot, the bigger picture that will allow you to make sense of it all. We'll also look at a number of, again, websites that have compiled lots of information for you, such as bar chart. I will walk you through all the important areas of bar chart that will help us make money more consistently, and also identify names that we can use to evaluate to see if it makes sense. FinViz is another fantastic place to be able to find lots of information, and we will certainly go through all of the pluses and some of the minuses to this site as well, and how you can again find tickers that will help you make money. And finally, another site that I use often is Yahoo Finance. I'll show you exactly where I find information that is helpful in my trading, and we will kind of put it all together utilizing 3 or 4 different websites to get us what we need. When a new member joins, they'll be placed into the Krakken Trading Academy group. It is new, and I expect to have a couple of hundred people is the most that we'd like to see in this group that are learning to trade each and every week. There will be a weekly call that will be recorded and archived, and that information, those calls will live right here in this Facebook private group. So that will be the hub for where you'll get the link to be able to log in to access the information, as well as, again, that link to be able to get on the live Zoom calls. And so you'll get all of that detailed information so that you can participate each week. So in my Linktree, you'll find that the video that I spoke of earlier is right here. It's the first thing that you come to. And then we have, a number of opportunities for you to get training. I call them strategy sessions. There are several options for you to do that in case you are, a bit more experienced in trading and you just kind of want a refresher. And then there is an opportunity for you to book a call with me so we can kind of talk about your situation, which certainly doesn't cost you anything. And then we have membership groups. The one that we're talking about now is the Krakken Trading Academy. Again, it's just $799 for the year. It's less than $20 a session. We'll typically have about 46 to 48 sessions, knowing that, there's summer vacations, Christmas break, spring break, and a winter break. It typically takes up about 4 to 6 weeks of time that I could potentially miss. A lot of times I'll just usually reschedule the date for a time either earlier in the week or we double down on something. So there are other groups for folks who are a little bit more advanced and less of a beginner, or in these 3 groups, you are looking for one-on-one coaching as well as having the opportunity to be able to meet each week in a group designed for folks who are in these categories, like the flagship group called Krakken Pro. So, and then you have, workshops that I do, either small, medium, or large. So that's primarily geared towards small businesses, organizations, schools, etc. So why do I coach? Why do I take time out of my day to do it? Number one, I enjoy all things business. And I know, as many of you know, is that another COVID could happen. You could have lots and lots of layoffs. What I like to do is to be able to control my own destiny. And moving money in the markets allow me to do that. Although I certainly believe, it's a great thing to work for somebody else, as long as you love what you do. And one of the things I love is to coach, is to teach, is to do all that I can to help somebody find the benefits that I have found, because I know it's changed our lives. We went from, guys, a 1,400 square foot home that was in ill repair, it needed new windows, it needed new carpet, it had a crack in the garage. It just was an old house. We loved it. We did what we could do with it, but it was old. And because of trading, I was able to buy my home that I am in now. The price at the time was $865,000. I wrote them a check for it. I had no mortgage, no nothing. I just gave them the cash. And all of that came through trading in a year. Now, that is not normal, not a normal scenario. But what I did was I focused in on what I was trying to do. I had written goals, and I believed they were achievable goals. But I incredibly exceeded what the goals were each and every week. And so what I would tell you is that aim for the moon, but have the discipline, have the courage, have the ambition, have the drive, all of it to be able to hunker down and to be able to learn a skill that you could use for the rest of your life. Because no matter how old you get, as long as your brain works, you can continually make money in the markets. And so I love what I do. I love the challenge of it all, growing other businesses. And one of those businesses is coaching. And so if it interests you, certainly you can reach out to me. I'll put my number someplace, and you can call me, at 704-488-0136. I'd recommend that you text me first, because I may not answer. I might think it's a spam call, not quite sure. And then we can decide on how to move forward. Listen, from a sales standpoint, $799 It's all relevant money to many people's budgets, but the reality is it's really not that much money. It ends up being about $16, $17 maybe per session. And all of those sessions are recorded. And so if you really and truly want to learn, getting help from a coach is very important, not because it's a sales tactic or because I'm in that industry. It's because the learning curve is going to be a lot shorter, a lot less headache, and the outcomes are going to be far more favorable to you when you align yourself with someone who's already done it and someone who already knows sort of the ups and downs and all of the pitfalls that come with learning how to trade. Can you teach yourself? You can, but it may take you a long time, years for most people. And it's not because it's so difficult to learn, it's the nuances that people have to get through. It's all the things some of us people who have already gone through it have learned. But I will tell you, still every day is different. Doesn't mean I won't make mistakes, but overall, if I'm consistent about what I do, I'm going to win the majority of the time. And I will find, like I have found before, that my balance just keeps growing. And so the link tree is going to be someplace. It's on the actual, the banner or the cover page. The link tree is there. Certainly you can go in and look around and figure out what group best fits you. Again, if you need to call me, certainly give me a call. And I would be happy if you shared this video with someone who might be interested. I'm hell-bent on growing this business because I know there's so many people out here who just could change their lives if they just got someone to take them by the hand and help walk them through so that the learning curve would be shortened and shortened. So if this appeals to you, great, reach out to me. If not, I certainly thank you for taking the time to watch the video. I will see you guys. Hopefully I'll talk to some of you guys soon. As always, be very, very well.